Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones' Variety Hour.
Hello, Mary Elizabeth. Happy holy days.
Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. And we're coming to you. We're returning to, I think last time we were here, we were engulfed with flies and birds. It was Lord of the Birds. It was almost like an Alfred Hitchcock movie if he made Lord of the Flies. Anyway, so just my name is Kaye Lazar, and we haven't done a show in a while. We've been meaning to do shows, and we never really
We've been really busy.
bit busy. That's an understatement. That's an understatement. We've
Yeah.
had a heck of a time. Now, uh, let's see. We were supposed to do Gypsy, and what happened there?
It got postponed until February, I think.
The first time it was postponed twice. We still haven't done it yet. The first time was a girl got pneumonia. The girl playing Gypsy, Rose Lee, got pneumonia, and it was delayed like about a month, like the end of January.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be doing it early December. And then because all these other things were going on, Christmas Gypsy's not really Christmassy, and it could be any time. And then the other main actor broke her leg or something, got very hurt, and she's on crutches right now, and she won't heal up until February. So it's delayed till February.
Yeah.
So we can't do these shows without the two stars.
Right,
You know,
right.
so that's what. So we're going to do Gypsy. You know, Gypsy's on Broadway right now,
Yeah.
and a new version of it. So, but ours is much better, much cheaper. They have the money and the production and everything, but we have heart and soul, which makes ours different. You know,
Yeah.
theirs is just crass commercialism. But
Yeah.
you know, but anyway, and I'm in it as Mr. Goldstone, and you're in it
I'm
too
in it
as
as LA, Marjorie May, and Georgie.
oh wow,
3 parts.
you're a triple threat.
Mhm.
I play a few parts too, but I play a farm boy.
Yeah, I play a farm boy too.
Oh, you play a fourth, yeah. That I get to sing a
And
little.
it's so adorable.
And I get to, but anyway, we'll talk more about that in February.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you just came off a show, A Christmas Story. Now tell me how that worked out.
It went really well. It was a pretty good crowd, so
Yeah, I saw the show.
yeah.
I saw the show, and it was just like the movie, only better.
Yeah.
It was done right in front of me.
I played an elf
Mhm.
and a student named Roxanne.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, so
There you go. Yeah, I saw you in there. In fact, your scene was my favorite scene. Now, you've probably seen A Christmas Story at home on television. And there's a scene where the little boy goes to Santa Claus, and you played the elf.
yeah.
But another friend of ours, she played Santa Claus, and the scene where she kicks him down the sliding board and stuff. You know, it gets a chuckle in the movie. This was really the funniest scene I saw in that show. So yeah, and but the whole show was good. The Christmas Story is good. You know, I think I told you this, but when my mom first came to America, she really liked Gene Shepard, the guy who told all these stories on New York radio
Yeah.
in the 1950s and yeah, in the 1950s. She felt because of his homespun humor and everything, and he also wrote books. One was called. In God we trust, all others pay cash.
Oh yeah.
But I think from that, the story, A Christmas Story, came about, and he became famous, more famous than ever, when that story became the story, the Christmas Story. You know, if you don't know the story we're talking about the kid with the BB gun they show every year at Christmas,
Yeah.
Ralph, and with Darren McGavin in it, and Melissa Dillon, and that is such a good show. I knew it was going to be a big hit. I heard during the making of that film, he made a couple of the director Bob Clark. He made Porky's, and a few like kind of tawdry films. I think Silent Night, Evil Night, or something. He's a Canadian director, and he made that, and he really wanted to make that film, which he didn't think was going to make any money at all because of no big stars or anything. And then it became the most famous film he ever made.
Yeah.
Bob Clark. He also, but he said in an interview that he had a lot of trouble with the Gene Shepard, who wrote it, who also narrates A Christmas Story, because he was after every shot they said no, it wasn't done that way. When I remember in the 1930s and stuff, they go, "Will you shut up? We're trying to make a movie here." I think finally they just said, just record all your dialogue and we'll just play it when the movie is finished. And that's how it worked. He also did another movie called A Summer Story. Wasn't a big. I mean, I saw it on video. It's still good though.
Yeah.
And that had Charles Grodin and Mary Steenburgen as the parents. It's a totally different story, but I think that's pretty much the same characters.
Yeah.
And so check that out. If you get it on video, it's very. I think you actually see the hillbilly neighbors that they only talk about, the dogs in the Christmas Story. You
Yeah.
actually see that family, and they're like the Beverly Hillbillies. They're so funny.
Yeah.
The Hatfields with the
Yeah.
McCoys. So I've been very busy myself. There's the Christmas season, and they had a Hanukkah celebration at VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University, at the Monroe Park. And let me tell you something. It's very hard to be Jewish. We've had a very bad year, and anti-Semitism is high, and I mean even Ireland. My people have been the prime minister is anti-Semite, Simon Harris, he's promoting taking the side of Hamas. It's terrible. And let me tell you something.
I was also on the Christmas parade last weekend.
We'll talk about the Christmas parade in a moment, but before I forget, let me tell you, it was awful that Ireland, my people are Irish, and I feel so bad that you think of all people, as much as they've suffered under fanatical rule by the English or by the Catholic Church, that they would be more understanding, but they're not. I mean, the prime minister. It's terrible. I must tell you, my mother would tell me stories about, even though she was very religious, and she in some cases was a apologist for a lot of the church's worst behaviors, like the Magdalene laundries. Look that up. Even the Pope had to come forward, and Pope John Paul, and said this is a terrible thing, and we regret it. There was also the child abuse. Oh, there's no end to that. There's no bottom to that in the church, and also sadly the Pope Pius during World War II didn't lift a finger to help any of the downtrodden people, including the Jews in World War II, when he could have done something and he did nothing. So I am very shocked and disappointed about Ireland. But Irish people and our friends are great, and they're my people. So I'm hoping they will like turn around, and once this awful war is over, once the hostages are released, you know.
Yeah, they're my people too. Cause
They're
I'm part Irish.
you're part
So,
Irish too. Yeah,
yeah.
there you go.
I got Irish, German, French, African, Spanish, Portuguese. Um,
Portuguese. Wow.
there's a lot of other stuff too. So,
African?
yeah.
You're an African American, huh?
Well, kind of.
You're like Elon Musk, the richest African American who ever lived.
Yeah.
I heard that the other night on Chris Rock said that. I never even gave that a thought. Now tell me about. Well, let me just finish the Hanukkah story. So I go to the Hanukkah thing, and there was no talk about the troubles our people have gone through. It was at Monroe Park. Monroe Hill was at UVA when I went to school. Monroe Park. They had all this dancing, all this singing. They had donuts and hot chocolate. They had little hat to wear to keep you it was a cold night. Keep your head warm with "Let There Be Light," which is I think their slogan. They were in the colors of VCU, yellow and black, and scarves. So you kept warm while you were watching it all. The guy who gave Jewish guy who gave a lot of money to VCU was there. I didn't get a chance to meet him. Stuart Siegel. If you know the Stuart Siegel Center where they play basketball,
yeah.
I saw Obama there when he came to town. The Siegel Center. He was there. What else? And then, this is really cool. They had what's called a balloon drop. You ever heard of a balloon drop?
Yeah.
What happens is it's a bunch of balloons under a net. I never heard of it. You know all about it. And then there's a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then they let go all the balloons. That's a big deal. But on each balloon there was a sticker on it, and you took the sticker off. There's like 200 balloons. There's about 200 people there.
Yeah.
And I went and claimed the prize. I got a speaker. I got a speaker for the shower so I could listen to music while I'm taking a shower.
Yeah.
I prefer to sing in the shower. I haven't gotten the thing to work yet because I don't know how these things work. But it was and they gave everyone a menorah. It's all in pieces, still in the box, but it's all pea, and you put it together, and you have a menorah for Hanukkah. I almost said Halloween for Hanukkah. So that was quite a night. I was so happy I went there, and the police were there, so there's no protest there. There was nobody.
I would love to go next year.
Go there next year. I hope to go next year either.
Yeah.
As myself, we usually go. We have a friend who runs the Purim celebration at the synagogue in town, and Sarah. So we always go to that. So we should go to the. We should go to all the Jewish things.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the parade. Speaking of holidays, that you went to you were in the Christmas parade.
Yes.
Now tell me about what did you wear? Were you marching? What were you doing?
I rode in a truck.
You rode in a truck.
Yes.
The back of a truck.
Yes.
Were you like in the flatbed and you were just waving at everybody?
Yes.
Do you throw candy at everybody?
I didn't throw candy, but
Okay.
I got to wave.
Got to wave.
I got to sing too.
Oh, what did you sing? What songs did you sing?
I sung Jingle Bell Rock.
All right.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
All right.
And I think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, okay.
And some other songs. So.
All right.
And I wore a Christmas sweater.
Right. Yeah.
And
What color was the Christmas sweater?
It was green, red, white.
Was it like all decorated? Like
Yes.
what was on? What was on it? Reindeer.
It was like ducks.
Ducks.
Ducks on the side.
Ducks. Well, we got plenty of ducks here. So.
Yeah. They kind of look like those ducks.
Those ducks over there.
Yeah.
We're not going to show it to them.
They had poinsettias.
They'll come around sooner or later.
Poinsettias.
Poinsettias. Yeah. Yeah, and you only see poinsettias during the Christmas season. Where are they hiding the rest of the year? Someone told me poinsettias are poisonous. Did you ever hear that? If birds eat the leaves for cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they don't do us any good either if we're hungry.
Yeah.
A lot of food we eat are leaves, like spinach and lettuce.
Yeah.
We're eating the leaves.
Yeah.
So okay, so and this was tell us about the parade in general. Where was it?
Chester.
The Chester Christmas Parade.
Christmas Parade.
Yeah. Okay. Now I usually appear in that thing, but I didn't do it this year because I didn't want to be on a truck. I like marching, and I like wearing a costume. Like usually I wear a top hat or something, and I dress like Scrooge or I dress like the Grinch or somebody.
I invited you to come.
Thank you.
To go with me.
But it was too far away. I saw it on video. Listen, let me tell you something, Mary. The Christmas season is busy. And you can do anything you want, but you can't do everything you want. And let me tell you something. Sitting around watching a parade is to me, is kind of boring. Being in a parade is fun.
I'd rather be in a parade than watch a parade.
Watch a parade. Yeah, especially when the horses go by. They leave a little remembrance of when they were.
Especially the Richmond parade.
The Richmond parade.
I'd rather be in that than just sit and watch it.
Yeah.
That's the way I am. So.
My dad used to get mad at us for not liking parades, and we would watch every Thanksgiving or New Year's. We'd watch like the Macy's parade or the New Year's Mummers parade or Rose parade. in
Yeah.
California,
Yeah.
and we watched it on our 7-inch black and white set. The biggest bore. If you're there, it's exciting,
Yeah.
and you see it even on a color TV. It's exciting, but we didn't have color TV. What's color TV?
Yeah.
What? That was too much for my family.
Yeah.
My family, I'm surprised they. My uncle came to visit in the 1960s, and he. This was in wintertime, and it was kind of a warm spell,
Yeah.
and he was hot, and he wanted the air conditioning on. We're not going to turn the air conditioning on. My dad said so. So, well, I'll turn it on. He go, oh, by the way, we don't have an air conditioning. We just have fans. He got so mad. He chastised my dad to buy air conditioning, which was probably for the best. My dad wouldn't buy anything. But my dad lived a long time without any of that stuff. Oh, well, let me tell you something about when you're an old man, a real old man.
Yeah.
They everything gets new. Every like uh, for example, the geese are mad at me. I think I'm drowning them out. They don't like that. Anyway, the when you're an old man, you cannot follow technology like you could. You know, even a remote control is hard. You know, because remote controls can be hard. Push enter, push the number, push all the channels now you have. And my dad was going through a bad time because they changed the whole TV cable system on
Yeah.
him, and he could not work the remote, and he would push each button really hard,
Wow.
and then of course the remote would break because the sixes or the or the eights were not were pushed in too hard. Come on, why aren't you working? So anyway, they so I had to me and maybe a sister or two had to call and intervene with the cable people,
Yeah.
and they had says, well, why don't we send your father an email? You're not. My father doesn't have email. There's a man who never had email. He goes, well, why don't we send him, well, maybe he could work it out on his online on his computer or maybe on his telephone. He goes, he doesn't have any of that stuff. He still has a landline, and yet it was very troublesome for my dad. And it's awful when technology doesn't work for you. As you get older. I'm trying to keep up with technology the best I can. I'll give you a funny example of that. I was 40 years old, almost 40, like late 30s, before I even was put in front of a computer. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And because I never needed a computer, so 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 I got a job that I needed to use a computer at. So and then my resume, being an actor, whenever they tell you to do something, you know how to ballroom dance. Yes, you know how to ride a horse. Oh, of course. You know how to hunt. Oh, I certainly know all that stuff. You know karate. Oh, yeah, of course. And then you get the job, and then you work very hard in the next few days to figure out how to fool them, how to pretend to ride a horse. So anyway, uh, oh yeah, I know all about computers. I know all about computers. Yeah. So the first day, the woman running running the first few days I was working there. They said they put me in front of a computer. Okay, show us what you know. So I said, hmm, hmm, this computer is a much better computer than I'm used to using. Can you like kind of show me how to get started and everything? Oh, of course, of course. And then they typed a little, and then and then I said, oh, and I took notes and everything. I took notes. And then by the end of the week, I knew how to use that computer. I had never, ever been in front of a computer before. Yeah, fake it till you make it. And that's, I'm a good actor. You know that? You know how I know I'm a good actor? If I have to pretend to be a good office worker, I could do that. I didn't say I was a good office worker. I said I could pretend to be a good office worker. So now I'm a pretty good office worker, though. What else? Oh, I went to a show. I went to a show a couple of days ago, and I met Paul Williams.
Yeah, Paul Williams. Yes.
Remember Paul Williams?
Yes.
Paul Williams wrote all these songs. He was a great songwriter. He's still around. In fact, I'll tell you some of the songs he wrote. He wrote the theme to the Love Boat. He wrote a lot of Carpenter songs. That's the Love Boat. Jack Jones, really good singer, used to sing that. But Paul Williams, I don't think was. He said that he came into songwriting kind of by accident. He was strumming a guitar and started just making up songs while he was doing this. This on the set of a movie called The Chase with Robert Redford and Marlon Brando and Jane Fonda. He's in that movie. He played a 14-year-old, but he was, I think, in reality 24. And then a year later, he played like a 16-year-old, and he was 25. A movie called The Loved One, which is with Jonathan Winters. But the funeral, it's a very funny movie. Robert Morse is in it, and he's in that movie too. So he was on some movie. He was strumming along on the guitar and started just making these kind of crazy songs, and they said, keep that up, keep that up. Robert Duvall is in the movie too, and he actually was the one who said, keep that up. Robert Duvall, who played Boo Radley in the original To Kill a Mockingbird. Well, anyway, so he wrote all these songs for the Carpenters, songs for the Monkees, Rainy Days and Mondays. He wrote Only Yesterday. He wrote Three Dog Night Song, I think, Old Fashioned Love Song. He wrote
Rainy Days and Mondays always get me down.
Yeah. His big hit was We've Only Just Begun.
Oh, I love that song.
Isn't that a great song? Yeah.
We've only just begun to live like lace and promises. A kiss for luck when we're on the way. We've only
just begun. He wrote it for a bank commercial, he said. And then the Carpenters heard it and wanted to record it, and then it became a big hit. A local bank commercial, like in California or somewhere. So he's written all these songs, but no one really knew who he was. And then he appeared. He started acting a bit. He's in Smokey and the Bandit. He's the guy who gives. He was in a movie called The Phantom of the Paradise by Brian De Palma, a rock and roll version of the Phantom, and he wrote all the songs for that. The Muppet movie, he wrote all the songs for that. The Rainbow Connection, probably the most famous song he wrote. And so anyway, I go to this show thinking I'm going to see a guy because this guy was great in the 1970s and 80s. He was on all the talk shows, Merv Griffin and Mike Douglas, and he was always entertainment. A very short guy, which was part of his technique. He actually explained why he had a physical problem growing up, and sort of like me, and never got really all that tall. Huh?
Oh, Lord, let him.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's coming. So anyway, this thing was actually sponsored by some group which dealt with special needs kids, and pretty much the whole show was not Paul Williams singing his hits, which I thought it would be, play at a piano or somewhere with an orchestra or something. But there was a band there, and all the kids were singing these hits, but they weren't singing hits. They were singing songs he had already written that weren't famous, And there were a couple of singers that were really good, but it wasn't Paul Williams singing. But then I started to think about Paul Williams. Paul Williams, not really much of a singer. He's one of those guys like Bob Dylan. He writes a lot of good songs, but so-so singer, good songwriter. Eric Clapton, good guitarist, so-so, not so hot singer, that type of thing. So Paul Williams, he mentioned on the show that he's 84 years old. He is the youngest looking 84 I've ever seen. He is I don't know why he's so young looking. He said like I said, when he was in his 20s, he was playing teenagers. So now he says it's all worked out for him. Now that he's in his 80s, he looks good and he's in good shape and everything. He's sober for 34 years. He was talking about that too.
Yeah.
And the only singing he did, and he didn't even sing it alone. He sang at the end. The only song I even recognized that he sang was a song called "The Rainbow Connection" that Kermit the Frog sings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And why is there always songs about rainbows? Da 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 da. The Rainbow Connection. Yeah. Well, anyway, you know the song. He wrote Evergreen, won an Oscar for with Barbara Streisand. He wrote that song, and all the songs in A Star Is Born, the Chris Christopherson, Barbara Streisand version. So anyway, so this guy is really a big deal to see him. So when it was over, I waited around with a group of people, want his autograph or something, and then they all led us into this room where he was just entertaining everyone, talking and posing for photos and signing autographs and everything. So I got to meet him, and there's right now my Facebook profile pictures me and him. He doesn't look like he used to. I mean, he's recognizable as the same guy, but he doesn't have the big glasses and the big hair and everything. We're about the same height, and he was very nice. He asked me my name. He really liked the clothes I was wearing. It's sort of not too different from what I'm wearing now. I mean, but it was more musical looking. I had a tie with musical notes on it and everything. And I had to thank him because when you're a short kid growing up and I never got tall. He never got tall. That you try to find your inspiration. I told him how inspiring he was when I was a kid. Watching him, and we all thought the world of him on talk shows and everything, and he was very funny and everything. So, and he was, and he hugged me. It was great. It was great. Not too many celebrities have hugged me. He
I,
hugged
I
me.
would love to met him,
Oh yeah,
but I was doing a show that weekend.
I meet people. I meet all the best people, and then I do a show with you. So
Yeah.
what's I live a charmed life. So and then so that was what I did. Also, earlier that week, I went to dinner at a real fancy restaurant called Firebirds, and this guy invited me. I won't tell you his name. He's a nice guy, but I only met him once. I only met him actually before I went there, and what happened was we have a mutual friend who was in town, and he said, "I'm throwing a party. Please come to it. It's at a restaurant, a fancy restaurant." And I got the idea that this woman was in town who's going to have is all in her honor. So I go to this fancy restaurant. I mean, when I say fancy restaurant, there was like $75 steaks, $55 baked potato. Luckily, I looked at the menu before I went there, and I said, "Oh, $20 hamburger." Okay, a $20 hamburger. That's not something I want to buy, but I'm not going to pay $55 for a meal. So $75 for a meal. $20 I don't even like paying, but there's always a can of soup in my cupboard if I'm that hungry. You know, a can of the. And so somebody actually asked when we were there, what is the soup of the day? And I said alphabet soup. My mom wouldn't let me drink alphabet soup because I kept making dirty words out of the alphabet. My mind was in the gutter, even as a kid. So I go there, and so I asked, I get there early, and then I was too early, like an hour early. I got the times wrong, so I came back an hour later, and then all the people were there, but I didn't know any of the people. And the one mutual friend, I said, "When is she coming?" And he says, "Oh, she went back to New York. she's not she's not going to be here." So at that point, you think, "I want to leave. I want to leave. I'm going to bail. I don't know any of these people. I don't know what I'm doing here." But I got out of my comfort zone. I'm always in my comfort zone. No one's more comfortable than me. So I said, well, maybe I should, give it a try, eat food I'm not used to, and talk to people. So I ate. So I had dinner with with like, what was it? Almost like at least a dozen people, maybe close to 20 people. No single women. It was all. I think it was all a few stag men like myself, and then a few couples, and those were only women there. But I got to sit between two women. They were the wives of the guys, and I was trying to be hilarious like I usually am here. But it all worked out. It all worked out. And you know what, Barry? I think he invited me to that party because he thought I was charming enough to spark it, rather than have a bunch of people sitting on their hands and staring at each other. I would like jazz it up a bit, and I did. In fact, my side of the table was the cool kids' side of the table, like in the high school cafeteria. By virtue of the fact I was sitting there, made it the cool kids part of the thing. So anyway, we got more to talk about. Mary, can I come back for a second half?
Yes, we're going to take a little break first. And wait up. We will see you in a few minutes. God bless you.